Hi, my name is Dare Olufumlayo. Welcome to Dare.io. You're watching this video right now because you signed up on our platform and you desire to become an expert DevOps engineer. Guess what? I am super excited about your decision. Do you know why? Because I and my team have spent days and nights of hard work putting this together just because of you, just because we want you to become a professional that does DevOps. In the past 15 to 20 years of collective experience across myself and my team, we have focused on just one thing, and that is DevOps. Now, hold on. I know you might be thinking, hey, wait a minute. DevOps is relatively new. How come you're saying 15 to 20 years? Now, what I mean about that is DevOps in itself has many angles to it. Most of the people that become DevOps engineers today are either from systems engineering background or software development background. But things are changing right now because even if you don't come from any of those backgrounds, you can actually start a career into the world of DevOps. And that's the purpose of what we have done. We've put together a step-by-step guide about how you're going to accelerate your journey into DevOps regardless of your background or skills. You're going to be able to get into the world of DevOps in a matter of 6 to 12 months. So all the experiences that we have gathered working with multiple organizations doing all sorts of cloud migrations across the United Kingdom, the America, Europe, United States of America, and all that. We'll put everything together into this program so that you can leverage on all our experiences and then use that to accelerate your journey into the world of DevOps. Dare.io is a social learning platform. Now you might be thinking, but you are an online training or e-learning or whatever you may call it. Well, yes, you're not wrong to say that. However, we go way beyond all of that. And that's the purpose of this video, to show you how you're going to leverage all that we've put together to turn you into an engineer overnight. Okay, I don't actually mean overnight, but in 3 to 6 to 12 months, you'll be amazed at what you will turn out to become. So we're going to be covering 10 different things. Number one, where to start. You may be a beginner, an intermediate, an expert in some other areas already, but where exactly do you fit into this program? So we're going to be talking about that. Number two, number of hours of study. Number three, about our live sessions, how to get into the block sessions and live mentoring sessions and all that. Number four, peer-to-peer social support. Number five, daily stand-up. Number six, project submissions, mentor review, project feedback. Number seven, building your GitHub profile and how to make the best use of that for employment. Number eight, getting noticed by the community. So I'm talking about our internal community and external DevOps community on LinkedIn and Twitter and all the other social media networks that you can actually leverage on to start getting noticed in the community and become a known professional. Number nine, internship opportunities, how we can help you leverage the skills you've gathered to work as an intern and get real world experience from real companies. And finally, number 10, mock interviews and job placement support, how we help you prepare for the real interviews through mock interviewing, and then how we leverage our network with recruiters to help you get the DevOps job that you so desire and that you have worked a whole lot to get. So I'm going to be talking about how we do all these things and how to put all these 10 items together to get you to the final destination. So without further ado, let's dive into it.
Okay, so we are now on the Dare.io website, and the first thing you're going to want to do is to obviously sign in. So if you do have an account, just click on the sign in button at the top right here, and then just put your email, password. Now you'll notice there is a section right here that says organization. We'll talk about this for a little while when we get into the internship section, but this is just about those who have qualified for an internship program, so that you would have to select the internship organization that you've been assigned to before you can log on to this, and we'll talk about that later. Now you want to keep yourself signed in from time to time and just hit the sign in button. Now, you may not notice a lot of changes, but trust me, you've actually been signed into the dashboard. So what you're going to have to do is to notice this little hamburger icon at the top right corner, and click on that and then hit on the dashboard. Once you do that, you would obviously find yourself on the dashboard, and you're also going to notice a number of things which I'm going to go through right now. So you can see the book one-to-one session, you can see the number of sessions you have a month, you can see the plan that you're currently assigned to, and also you're going to notice these tabs right here. There's all the courses, the projects, and live sessions. But of course, you can also share these on your social media channels if you wish to do that. And also, you would be able to scroll down and you can see at the bottom that you can actually go to the next page where the rest of the courses and the projects have been listed. So let's go through each of them. Well, not all of them, but the first one. So the very first thing you'd notice here is the onboarding session talk with Dari. So this is the video you are currently watching right here. So you may have received this video in your email or through other channel, or maybe on the thank you page, but it's also the same video that is in the very first one here. So if you want to watch it again, or if you haven't watched it then, you can just click on the go to lesson and it will take you to this particular video. Now, the next thing you're going to notice is we have steps in numbers. We also have certain courses in numbers, and we have projects in numbers. So you can see here we have step 3, project 1. So don't get confused with these. They mean different things. But basically the step is every single step that you are going to be taking in the course of your learning journey. So step 1 obviously means the very first course that you're going to take as part of your journey into DevOps. And step 2 is the next one. And step 3 is the other next one. But this time around, rather than it being a course, it's a project. So the whole idea is you take some courses and then you implement projects. Now, these projects are not the hello world type of project. Like I always say, they are real world projects that you can actually implement and start building skills and experiences out of. So some of them will be very minimal, some of them will be really huge, and they will involve architectural diagrams and code snippets and so many things going in there. And we'll take an example shortly for you to see what it looks like. Now, where do you start? Some people have some background in technology already. You may be a software developer that have Linux experience, or a systems administrator that have Linux experience, and you don't need to learn the fundamentals of Linux, the file system, how to navigate and all that. Or you may already have AWS certification or cloud experience already without having Linux experience. So the whole idea here is to let you know the things that you have to learn in a certain order. Some people learn the right things at the wrong time. Now, that's a very important thing to bear in mind. And that's the reason why we have structured this in this way, because you'll be amazed that some people have certifications, but they don't know anything about Linux. And the truth is, you won't be able to succeed very much in DevOps if you don't have solid Linux experience. Most of the enterprise grade applications run on Linux. Even Microsoft, that have their own Windows operating system, they know that. And in the Azure DevOps solution, they actually promote Linux servers a lot. So you can spin up Linux servers in your Microsoft Azure account, and that speaks volume. So basically, it's very important to get started with Linux first before any other thing. And the same concept apply to many other things that we've done by placing certain courses in a certain order before you learn another thing. So that's very important. So if you feel like certain things you're not interested in them because you know them already, then you can skip them and just go to the next one. If you get to the next one and you feel like, I know this already, just skip to the next one. So we have let's go to the last one here. We have up to about step 55, and we're carrying on updating this and adding more and more and more to this. So so just go through it, and then you would see how everything basically tied together. Okay, so that's the first part. Now the other part is to explain to you what makes us a social learning platform and what we mean by that. Now, our focus is to get you become a DevOps engineer, a professional one, a highly experienced one for that matter. And the way we do that is we leverage resources both internally and externally. Now, we don't want to reinvent the wheel and start creating content that is freely available to you in other places. So you would see some content that you can access externally, and you'll see some content that you can access internally. And and the very first one right here is an example. So the first one here, which is the DevOps fundamentals, is actually a course on Udemy. So if you click on that, it will take you to this course. Now, this course is completely free. You can sign up on Udemy, and this is not a paid promotion or anything. We use not just Udemy. Sometimes we use YouTube, A Cloud Guru, or whatever other online learning platform that there is. But because our focus is to get you the hands-on projects experience, mentorship, we tend to collate and curate different content from all other sources so that you can enroll in them and watch them and learn them. Now, this particular one is a 2 hours, 10-minute video. So you can basically enroll into this and just take the course. Okay, so if we go back to the dashboard right here, let's take an example of one of the contents that is internal to us. So if you click on go to lesson for this one, you would see that this is actually a video that is within our platform. So this has a couple of videos, and basically you could just click on them, watch, understand them, take notes, and move on. You can go back, click on the go back here to bring it back here. And once you're done with that, you would have to go into this, which is the first project. All right, so I'm going to click on that, and you should be able to see this page right here. And we're going to come to this in a minute. There's a mark complete here where you can just basically mark this complete when you're done with the project. And then there's a button here where you can submit your project for review. So for every project that you implement, that is myself and the rest of the mentors within the Diary.io team, we review every single project and we'll give you feedback on them. So this is the button that you're going to need to click on to post the link to your project once you've completed the project. But to access the actual projects, you're going to have to click on this, and that will take you to the documentation for this project. So you have to read through this carefully, all right, and we'll come back into how this whole project thing work. But for now, we're still talking about getting started, and this is just to give you a quick overview about how to get started, where to get started, and what to do when you actually get started. Moving on to number 2 on the list, number of hours of study per day, per week, or whatever. Now, this depends a lot on you. Some people have a lot of commitment outside of this program, and that will could either be family, you may have kids and family to look after, you may have 9 to 5 job that you're doing, you have to do your 9 to 5 before you can take this. It could be any other thing. Now, some people have all the time in the world to do this. Whether you have the time or not, the time is going to take you to complete this program is entirely going to depend on how much of time you put into it. So if you spend 2 to 3 hours every day, excluding weekends, because you probably need your weekend to yourself to relax with the family, but it would really take you about 12 months or so to complete this whole program. As you can see, there's a whole lot of work to be done, a lot of courses, a lot of projects to implement, and that can take you that long. But let's say you spend 2 to 3 hours, but on weekend you spend like 6 hours, 7 hours. Now that's going to reduce the time it's going to take you to complete the program. So as you can see, this program is not structured to say, oh, it's a 2 weeks program or it's a 3 weeks program. It is really, really intense and very involving as well. So technically, you want to give yourself a lot of buffer. So whether you're on a free plan or you're thinking of upgrading, you have to think about the long term and the massive amount of work that's required of you to do. And you have to consider that with the current commitment that you have. Now, if you're fresh from school, maybe you're a college graduate and you want to start this career journey, and you have all the time in the world, you have parents that's supporting you and all that, you have no reason to spend 12 months on this program because every day you're spending like 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours every day studying and implementing projects. Then you're probably looking at spending 4 to 6 months or maybe 3 months to complete the whole program. I've seen people finish the whole program in roughly 3 to 4 months, but we do have some outliers because there are really committed people that have spent a lot of their time doing this. So I just wanted to get this out to you earlier on so that you have an idea of how much of commitment you're going to need to get this through. Okay, so let's go back to the dashboard and there's something that I'd like to quickly show you. So you would notice we have all courses, projects, and live sessions, but let's focus on the courses and projects for a minute. The all basically loads everything in one view. But if you click on the courses, it's going to filter out all the projects. And the way you would notice that is if you look at the tag right here, it's all courses. If you go back to all, you would see courses, you'll see a course, you see course, and this is project, okay? So if you're interested to see projects at any point in time, you can just click on project and then you would see all the project and you can quickly navigate to the particular project that you're working on at that point in time. Now, don't get confused when you see step 3, project 1, and that's just because this project is the step number 3 in your entire journey. So that's very important so that you can quickly navigate through this dashboard. All right, so back to number 3 on the whole onboarding thing is to talk about the live sessions and getting mentorship support. First of all, you would notice this blue big button right here, which is book one-to-one session. So sometimes you're struggling on the project and you just need help. You need someone to have a look at what you are going through. All right. What you can do is to click on this button here, and then it will load this calendar. Now, at the time of recording, it currently says speak with Dare, but I'm sure on our roadmap, we want to change this to mentorship. So whatever you see here, the button is just going to load this and you can select the available time to speak with a mentor, to get on the call with you, and then go through the project's problems that you're facing. Okay, so that's one of the ways in which you can have a live session with us. Now, if we go back, and you would see on this column here, there is also live sessions. If you click on that, it's going to take you to this page right here. And this is where we have our support platform page. Now, this may change over time, whatever it changes to later on, because at the time of recording, we're actually hosting this on S3. So if you know about AWS and some of its services, you would know S3. You can see from the URL. So this is, we have on our roadmap to actually move away from this. But for now, just know that this page right here is where you can get onto some of our other live sessions. So you would notice in green, anytime you come to this page and you see anything in green, it means there's a live session going on and you can actually join it. Okay. At the time of watching this video, we don't have the calendar schedule that tells you what schedules of those sessions that are coming up, but I'm pretty sure that at the time that you will be visiting this page, you would have that. So that is also going to tell you what sessions are going to be holding maybe tomorrow or next week or next weekend or whatever. You're going to be able to see the date and you can select and sign up and register and access that live session at that time. But those live sessions, we call them blocker sessions. Some are blocker sessions, some are end-to-end project sessions. So blocker sessions basically means that any problem that you have, you bring it onto the session, and there will be multiple interns and students on the platform, and we take turns. So there'll be mentors on the platform, and you can ask questions. The mentor can take control of your screen, obviously, if you allow them to do that. And we technically go through a lot of technical projects and questions and use cases, and we help each other progress in what's going on. Now, sometimes we have recruiters join the sessions. They just observe what's going on because we market our students to some recruiters in our network. And we'll talk about the whole job placement and recruitment solutions that we offer down the line. But essentially, this page is where you can access the live sessions. So if you click on the join session button, you'd have to put in your name, you have to register for it, and you're basically going to have to enter. So there's a session going on right now at the time of recording this. I don't want to disturb the mentors there. I'm just going to close this off. All right, so back to this page, you can also chat with support. So let's say you're having difficulty getting onto the session and you need help. You need someone to help you out. So we have a support team that are always, well, not 24/7 available, but we're getting there. But at the moment, it's not 24/7, but you might be lucky to get someone to help you at that point in time. We're based in the UK, so we work 9 to 5. So if your time zone fits into that timing at the point in time, you are definitely going to get help. Someone's going to help you. But soon enough, we'll be able to go 24/7, and you'll be able to then enjoy that at that time. All right, so moving on to number 4. Let's go back to the dashboard. And number 4 is peer-to-peer social support. So I'm going to bring up our social learning, social interaction platform. Now, this is Slack. So if you don't know about Slack, Slack is a social communications tool that allows us to communicate. Now we're going to be discontinuing the use of Slack at some point. That's in our roadmap, so that all the communications are going to be on our platform. So if you're watching this at a time where we haven't done the migration, just bear in mind that you're going to need access to this community depending on your subscription. So if you do have access, you're going to have to notice a couple of channels. So let me start first with this DevOps Bootcamp project feedback channel. This is where we give feedback on your projects. So if you scroll up, if I scroll up, you'll see a whole lot of communications going on here. Some people post screenshots of some of the challenges they're facing when they're implementing their projects, and you get a lot of people to respond to them. At the time of recording this, we have a little below 400, 373 members at the moment, but the numbers are counting. But this is where you get people to support you. You can post a question maybe in the middle of the night where we are closed, we're not working. Like you remember, I talked about 9 to 5 working on UK time zone. But trust me, in the middle of the night, regardless of your time zone, you post this, you get other people to respond. There are other mentors in other time zones. There are other people who have done the same project that you've done that you're struggling with. They've gone past it and they're always willing to help you. Okay, so you can post in this channel whatever problem you're facing, and then you get people respond to it. Now, having said that, even though this channel is dedicated to giving you feedback on your project, we actually have dedicated channels for projects. So if you see on the left right here, you will see all the different projects. So we have project 1, 2, 3, all the way to 30, and some are auxiliary projects. We'll go into that shortly. But for the specific project that you're working on at that point in time, you can go into that channel. So let's say you're working on project 12 or project 14, for example. Let me go into project 14. You would see that there are other people in this project channel here that are actually working on project 14, and they're helping each other. And I contribute to these. A lot of people contribute to these from time to time. And that's just how this works. Okay, so that brings me to the next one on the list, which is number 5. And that talks about the stand-up, the daily stand-up. So if you search for a stand-up in our Slack channel, you would see now this is an optional channel. Some people join it, some don't join it. But if you choose to join this channel, you have some responsibilities that you have to be aware of. First of all, every day you have to post your stand-up, your work, everything you do, whether it's a project that you're implementing, whether it's a course or video that you're watching or whatever it is. Every day you have to post what you're working on in this channel. Now we're using this as a means to help you remember that, look, you are on a journey and you have to finish this journey in a short amount of time. Now, if you don't do anything on a particular day, you still have to post something in that channel. And the only thing you're going to have to post on that day is, I didn't do anything. By the time you post, I didn't do anything, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, you're basically reminding yourself that you're lagging behind, and you'll see other people's progresses every day. So this stand-up channel is a very important one if you really want to keep track of yourself, put yourself in a situation where you want to ensure you're making daily progress, or at least be able to record weekly progress. So bear that in mind. Now, number 6 on the list is project submission, mentor review, and feedback. So let's go into one of the projects. So let's say, for example, you've gone through, you've done step 17, project 9, continuous integration right there. Let's see if we can find another interesting project. Project 13, Ansible dynamic assignments and all that. So let's say project 14, for example. Let's go into that. And here, what you would see the description for this particular project. And let's have a look at the project first, and then we'll talk about submission. The first thing you're going to notice, depending on your subscription, you're going to have to sign into this website right here to access that project. The first few projects are available publicly. You don't need to log into anywhere to see them. Depending on your subscription, you're going to have access to this. And by the way, our roadmap also is to move away from Reader Docs so that you can have all the projects from within the dashboard. But for now, at the time of this recording, you're going to have to log into Reader Docs to access this project. Now, this project is it has to do with gaining experience with continuous integration with Jenkins, Ansible, Artifactory, SonarQube, and PHP. So there's a lot of instructions and highlights and screenshots and code snippets and diagrams and so many things to give you that insight into how things are done in the real world. Okay, so there's a reason why we've put this together like this, so that when you start going for interviews, you're going to have use cases to talk about. Imagine an interviewer ask you, tell me about a project that you have recently completed, and we want to hear about the challenges you face and how you resolved them. Now, these projects prepare you for things like that because implementing these projects, you're definitely going to face a lot of challenges. You're going to have to resolve them, whether through the support of a mentor or whether through the social channel. Somehow you're going to reach a conclusion on the solutions, and those experiences retain with you, they remain with you, and you can always run with that and be able to talk about them, and your experiences, you can be able to share them. So these projects will give you code snippets on how to do things. It will give you diagrams. And by the way, these are not hello world type of project. These are real projects that you literally use to implement enterprise grade solutions. Okay. So bear that in mind. Now, once you finish your projects, you're going to have to document your projects, whether you're writing code, whether you're preparing your MD file format. We'll talk about that. But at the end of the day, you're going to have a link to your project. Okay. Now, that link is what you have to bring here. If you can see here, it says submit your project for review. And you're going to have to select the project number, say project 14, for example, and you put the link here and you submit that. So what happens is we get notified and mentors will have to go through your project and will review and give you candid feedback. If you could have done something better, we tell you. If you made a mistake or anything, we actually take our time to go through all of this so that you can be a better person. And always remember to mark this complete. As you can see, it says here not started. You have to mark this complete so that it can show in your dashboard that this has been completed. At the time of doing this recording, this is how it works, but it's on our roadmap that once you click on the submit, it's going to actually do it for you to show that it's been completed. And because you may have to redo your project at some point, we're going to have to work out how we're going to deal with that. But for now, it works and the whole purpose of what we're doing gets achieved. Okay, so number 7 on the list is building your GitHub profile. So there's a course on GitHub and Git as a whole, but from the very first project that you'll be implementing, you're going to start using Git. There's a reason for that, and the reason is because we want you to start building up your profile on GitHub, because we know that some recruiters, some employers, they actually use that. It's good if you have it on your CV, and they literally go into your GitHub profile to look at a few things. And what I want to do is show you some of the things that they look out for, and the reason why it's very important that you do your projects on GitHub. So basically, when you submit the link to your project where we take to review, we're actually looking at your GitHub link, right? I'm going to show you what to look out for. So this is GitHub. If you don't have an account there already, just go straight up, even before you start doing your first project, and create an account there. We have a video on how to submit your projects and some instructions on how to document your projects and all that. You get to see all that in the course of the program. But this is my GitHub account. And what I need you to look at is, if you go to the profile section, you would see all these green and gray and some deep green colors and all that. Well, these shows my activities over a period of time. So if you claim to have some experience in DevOps and you don't have any kind of experience and any kind of activity in your GitHub account, it literally bears some questioning about what you've been doing. Do you even at your spare time do some work at all? Because even though you work for companies and you're busy doing work in their private Git account, because obviously those private Git, whether it's GitHub or GitLab account, people don't get to see these publicly, okay? But the question is, outside of your work time, what do you do? Recruiters and employers are interested to see what open source project you contribute to, or what sort of project do you do that shows that you're actually doing some work. And we've centered those projects that you'll be implementing around this so that it starts to build your GitHub profile. Now, this is an example of my profile outside of work, okay? Because I work with a lot of clients in the UK, in the US, and across the globe. And obviously, you won't see the true reflection of my contributions to Git. But outside of work, you can still get to see a few things of the things that I do. Now, let's compare this with someone else's account. Now, this is another account that I've taken randomly from GitHub, and I can see that in some part of the year, he wasn't working on anything at all. He wasn't working. But from July all the way to December, he was working. So this shows that, oh, yes, maybe he's actually busy doing some freelance work or working with some company, and he was really busy, couldn't do anything. But at least I can get to see that he's busy. All right, he's not a newbie. Okay, so if you want to convince someone that you're not a newbie to this world, especially if you're a complete beginner to the world of technology, you definitely want to have your account doing some work. So that's why this is important, and your projects are designed to make you build your profile. Okay, so number 8 is about getting noticed by the community. So whether it's the in-house community here at Dari.io or the external community on the social networks, LinkedIn and Twitter in particular. So I'm gonna bring my other, I'm gonna drag the Slack right here. Okay, and we're going to talk about this a little bit further. And first of all, let's talk about this. I showed you this project previously. I didn't actually show you because you may not have that out of the box. So you're going to have to go to the channels, click on the plus button right here, click on browse channels, and then you can just put the hash symbol first and then type the project. So let's say you're working on project 1. Okay, you want to type project 1 and then you click on it, and that's how you're going to join. Some projects are locked. That means you're not supposed to be in those channels. The ones that are open are those that have the hash symbol. Okay, now back to this community, talking about getting noticed. Now, in this community, we don't have just learners. We have some recruiters here, and they come to us a lot to find DevOps engineers. And we do recommend some people that have implemented at least up to 20 to 25 projects to them. But what you want to do is to always contribute on this channel, especially when you've started getting to project 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and all that, and you build experience. To those coming from lower projects, you want to always look out to contribute. And the reason for that is because you want to start getting noticed. You want your name to start getting noticed from time to time so that when we put your CVs and your profile forward at some point, it just comes out. They just get to know that, oh, you have been contributing to the community. So that's one part that you have to bear in mind. Now, the other part is on Twitter and LinkedIn, if you can start blogging, start writing about your project, start contributing to things. Follow us on Twitter, the Dari.io channel on Twitter, on LinkedIn. And when we post content, respond to them, put your comments on there, share them. When you share your own blogs as well, tag us so we can like and we can tweak your content and things like that. And this is also very important as well from a very broad perspective. Not only recruiters, even employers on LinkedIn can start seeing your profile, and you never know who is going to be able to just click on you and check you out. So that is very important, and it's an important part we need to talk about. All right, so we are now going to move on to number 9, and that is internship opportunities. So we started talking about recruitment and all that. So it's also important we talk about this as well. And what that means for you is automatically you qualify for our internship program. And the only thing we require of you to get into that program is to have completed 30 projects. Once you've completed 30 projects, it gives us the confidence that you can work on enterprise grade solutions, have access to production servers, and you can start building up even further real world experience. Now, we have clients that we deliver real world DevOps projects to, and from time to time, we actually require the services of people that we can hire to work with those clients. So you might have the opportunity to work with some of our clients as a paid intern. Sometimes the opportunities come in the form of unpaid internship opportunities as well, depending on what you want to take on and what is available at the time. But the only requirement is to have you complete 30 projects. Completing 30 projects for us means you have knowledge, a lot of knowledge around Linux, Docker, Kubernetes, Helm, Jenkins, CI/CD, Git. You've done a whole lot of things, a lot of releases, blue, green, canary deployment, progressive deployment. You've done a lot of things, and we have the confidence to get you working on our code, Ansible, Terraform, and all that. So if you happen to be in that situation, then by all means, we are going to definitely work with you. So now this then takes us to the final part, which is number 10, and that is the job placement and recruitment solution that we at Diary.io provide. So we have a network with recruiters, and from time to time, like I said before, we actually give out some CVs. So once you're ready, now you don't have to have completed 30 projects for this particular support. The moment you have gotten to project 20, 21, 22, and all that, you can trigger this part in the program. Now, we get it started by first of all getting you on a mock interview. So you book a mock interview session with us, and then we drill you, we prepare you for the real world. Now, the other thing we do is help you with your CV, put it together, and start putting it out. All you're going to have to do is to sit back and relax, because you're going to start receiving phone calls, text messages, LinkedIn messages, and recruiters will start noticing you, and you start scheduling for interviews. And that's it, really. So we would have prepared you ahead with a mock interview, and with your profile and everything all ready to go. It's time to start looking for work. So while you are at that, you're still continuing with your project. Remember, you may have just completed your project 20, and you can trigger this part of the process. And that's it. So end to end, from number 1 all the way to number 10, this is how we help you become a professional DevOps engineer, and your dreams will come to life. Now, if you have any further questions, don't forget to download Slack. At the moment, at the time of this recording, download Slack on your mobile, on your laptop, to always get notification. And then you can go to the support channel. So you can search for the support channel, ask questions. If your questions are relating to the projects, go to the relevant project number and ask your questions. And but in the future, all of that will come to this platform where you don't have to get out of Diary.io website, and the whole communication and everything will be happening in there. And that's just, by the way, our roadmap. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch this onboarding. I know it's been quite lengthy, but also filled with a lot of information. So I see you at the top. I see you in some of the mentor sessions. Sometimes I'll be the one to be handling the blocker session, or I'll be part of the mentorship session. You see me around, all right? You can also look out for some of our other mentors, a lot of fantastic mentors on the platform, but we're always here to help you. So see you soon. Thank you very much, and peace.